Your thoughts on Tank Davis?
Man, he's a great fighter. He's a great fighter. He surprised me a couple of times. We've had some word exchanges.
Yes.
What do you think of former athletes and celebrities like Jake Paul taking up boxing? You think that grows the sport?
If he's doing it for the right reason, actually want to do it because of just like actually want to box, it's cool. But if he's doing it for like the wrong reason, just to get the hype and stuff like that, I feel as though it's trash.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down. Let's run it. Like, I'd be super, super down.
Jake Paul responded to Gervonta Davis's call out for a fight with both humor and practicality after Davis, a lightweight champion, expressed a desire to face Paul in the ring. Jake quipped, "Is there a height limit in boxing?" referring to their significant size difference. Davis is 5 while Paul is 6'8". Jake also acknowledged the challenge but hinted that any fight would require significant logistical adjustments, such as a catchweight agreement. Jake Paul responded to Gervonta Davis's recent call-out with a scathing tweet showcasing his trademark blend of bravado and wit. Addressing Davis, Paul wrote, "Floyd's little son calling me out? Come on, little Tank, you know better. I saw you pretend like you didn't know who Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor are. Do better, and maybe one day I'll give you a platform to shine again." After that budget basic press conference you just had, the comment was a layered retort. By referring to Davis as Floyd's little son, Paul alluded to Davis's long-standing association with Floyd Mayweather, possibly implying Davis remains in Mayweather's shadow. The jab about Davis pretending ignorance of Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, two of the most prominent figures in women's boxing, critiqued his apparent dismissal of female boxing's achievements. This dig aligns with Paul's active promotion of Serrano, highlighting Paul's dual role as a fighter and a promoter. Finally, Paul ridiculed Davis's promotional efforts, implying that his recent press conference was lackluster compared to Paul's highly publicized events. This suggests Paul perceives himself as not just a fighter but a marketing powerhouse capable of elevating opponents into the spotlight. Paul's tweet reflects his larger strategy of blending combat sports with entertainment. While his words carry a provocative edge, they also highlight his calculated approach to building hype and dominating media narratives. This response escalates their public feud, setting the stage for a potential fight that would generate significant attention in the boxing world. However, for such a bout to materialize, the considerable differences in weight classes and promotional interests would need to be negotiated. Gervonta Davis recently criticized Jake Paul's journey from YouTuber to professional boxer, dismissing it as a gimmick aimed at generating attention rather than a genuine passion for the sport. In an interview, Davis remarked that people like Paul often switch to boxing when they get bored with their previous careers, viewing the sport as a new platform to maintain relevance. Boxing isn't something you just pick up because you're bored. This is a craft, a lifestyle, and it takes years of dedication. What he's doing is just for show, Davis said. Davis didn't hold back on his opinion of Paul's skills, calling his boxing ability trash, and asserting that Paul is more interested in the spectacle than the substance of the sport. The lightweight champion emphasized that boxing requires respect, which Paul has yet to earn in his eyes. Despite his ability to draw large audiences, he's just playing around for views, and honestly, it's disrespectful to those of us who live and breathe this. Davis's criticism echoes sentiments from traditional boxing purists who see Paul as an outsider leveraging his social media fame rather than proving himself through the rigorous ranks of professional boxing. Despite these comments, Paul's recent fights, including his victory over Mike Tyson in an exhibition match, have garnered massive attention and stirred debates about whether he's helping or hurting the sport. Davis's remarks set the tone for a potentially explosive rivalry should the two ever meet in the ring. While Paul has proven to be a divisive figure, his ability to command the spotlight ensures that any back and forth with stars like Davis keeps boxing firmly in mainstream conversations.
What do you think of former athletes and celebrities like Jake Paul taking up boxing? You think that grows the sport?
If he's doing it for the right reason, actually want to do it because of just like actually want to box, it's cool. But if he's doing it for like the wrong reason, just to get the hype and stuff like that, I feel as though it's trash. Sometimes people get bored at what they doing, and they want to try other stuff. Got to be mentally tough to be able to box. So that's why I don't take that away from some fighters or some people that want to jump into the sport. So just show how tough you are. That's how it should be.
For sure. That's all I got. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Jake Paul recently spoke about Gervonta Davis, expressing mixed feelings about the lightweight champion and their history of verbal exchanges. Reflecting on their dynamic, Paul remarked, "Gervon surprises me sometimes." Paul alluded to previous moments of back-and-forth tension between them where heated words were exchanged on social media and in interviews. These clashes, according to Paul, stemmed from Gervonta's initial dismissal of Paul's presence in boxing. Paul shared, "I've just been showing him and everyone else that I'm not going anywhere." While Paul acknowledged Davis's talent, he questioned his intent behind the verbal jabs. "I think a part of him sees what I've built and maybe it bugs him. Not everyone likes how I've disrupted the scene," he added. Paul also highlighted that despite Davis's criticisms, the attention their exchanges bring could benefit both fighters if a fight were ever to materialize. Paul's remarks suggest he's open to continuing their feud, seeing it as fuel for a potential mega fight that would draw immense interest from fans of both traditional and influencer-driven boxing. The interplay between Paul's outspoken personality and Davis's sharp critiques keeps their rivalry in the spotlight, heightening anticipation for a possible clash in the future.
Your thoughts on Tank Davis?
Man, he's a great fighter. He's a great fighter. He's surprised me a couple of times. We've had some word exchanges.
Yes.
But it's all for fun. I hope this fight with Ryan Garcia happens.
Who you leaning on?
It's a 50-50 fight, in my opinion. You know, Gervonta hasn't shown the ability to win a lot of rounds against taller fighters, and then he relies on the knockout in the later rounds.
After Jake Paul's highly publicized exhibition match against Mike Tyson, Davis called out the YouTuber turned boxer for a fight. Davis, the undefeated lightweight champion with a 3-0-0 record, made his challenge known on social media, mocking Paul's boxing abilities and expressing his willingness to face him in the ring. Davis's comments followed Paul's victory over Tyson, a bout that drew significant media attention but also criticism for its entertainment-focused nature. In his call-out, Davis referred to Paul as a bozo and mocked him for failing to secure a knockout against the 58-year-old Tyson, despite Paul winning by unanimous decision. Davis further escalated the rivalry by adding, "I'm going to beat the brakes off Jake when I catch him," making it clear he was ready to settle their differences inside the ring. Jake. Paul, now 1-1-1 in his boxing career, responded with confidence, signaling his willingness to take on Davis but highlighting the logistical challenges due to their significant size difference. Paul, who fights at a much heavier weight, has openly discussed the possibility of such high-profile matchups, often leveraging his media-savvy persona to build hype for potential fights. Davis's call-out has fueled speculation about the growing crossover between traditional boxing and celebrity-infused events, a trend Paul has spearheaded. While the possibility of a bout remains uncertain due to weight class disparities and promotional complexities, their ongoing verbal exchanges keep both fighters in the public eye. The tension between Paul and Tank Davis underscores a broader debate about boxing's evolving landscape, where purists often clash with proponents of the sport's mainstream reinvention.
You were an interested observer on the Netflix event, Paul versus Tyson.
Why would he even want to fight him? And who told Mike Tyson to fight anyway?
Is Jake Paul someone you'd want to take on at one point?
Yeah. Tell him, this is my call out. Jake Paul, what up? What up, Jake Paul?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
During a press conference following his fight with Mike Tyson, Jake Paul was asked about Gervonta Davis calling him out for a future bout. Paul responded with a confident and humorous tone, saying, "I'd be down, let's run it." He then mocked the size disparity between them, asking, "Is there a height limit in boxing?" a reference to his own 6 a frame compared to Davis's 5 a stature. Jake Paul's manager, Nikisa Badarian, further stirred the conversation by asserting, Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Badarian's comment highlighted Paul's massive media reach and his ability to bring attention to any fight he participates in. This statement also implied that Davis, despite being an undefeated world champion, would benefit more from the exposure a fight with Paul would generate. The interaction between Paul and Tank Davis reflects the growing trend of boxing crossovers, where traditional fighters engage with personalities from outside the sport, blending athleticism with entertainment. Paul's remarks and Badarian's comments underscore their confidence in their ability to dominate the promotional aspect of any potential bout. While the call-out has created a buzz, the significant weight and size differences pose challenges to arranging a fight. Paul competes at a much heavier weight class, and Davis, a lightweight champion, would need to negotiate terms like a catchweight for such a matchup to happen. Paul's humorous yet strategic response exemplifies his approach to boxing, where he leverages his platform to drive attention and controversy. The ongoing exchange with Tank Davis continues to fuel public intrigue, keeping the possibility of a showdown in the spotlight while raising debates about the evolving nature of boxing promotions.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. I'd be super, super down.
Gervonta,
I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
is there a height limit in boxing?
Jake Paul's influence in boxing extends far beyond his performances in the ring. As a skilled promoter, Paul has demonstrated a unique ability to generate opportunities for other fighters while expanding the sport's audience, particularly among younger fans and social media-savvy demographics. One of Paul's most notable contributions has been his promotion of women's boxing. He has played a key role in elevating fighters like Amanda Serrano, a multi-division world champion. Paul's promotional company, Most Valuable Promotions, co-managed Serrano and helped orchestrate her historic fight against Katie Taylor in 2022. This bout, which headlined Madison Square Garden, became one of the most watched and celebrated women's boxing matches in history. Paul's involvement brought significant media attention to the event, showcasing his ability to amplify the visibility of the fighters he supports. Paul's approach to promotions leverages his massive social media following and marketing expertise. With millions of followers across platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, Paul ensures his fights and those he promotes receive unparalleled exposure. His events often blend entertainment with traditional boxing, featuring high-energy undercards and celebrity involvement, which attract new fans to the sport. In addition to promoting fighters, Paul has drawn attention to issues within boxing, including advocating for better pay and treatment of athletes. His outspoken nature has sparked debates about fighter compensation and the role of promoters, adding a layer of social commentary to his influence. Jake Paul's ability to balance his career as a boxer and promoter underscores his role as a transformative figure in the sport. While traditionalists may critique his approach, it's undeniable that Paul has broadened boxing's appeal, bringing fresh energy and a diverse audience to a sport striving to remain relevant in a competitive entertainment landscape.
Jake Paul is unequivocally the most successful fighter in history 4 years in. No one comes close. No one. You couldn't list one that comes close, including Brock Lesnar if you include his WWE career. 4 years in terms of what he's done in terms of box office, pay-per-view, impact, helping other boxers, because he had platform, he had awareness, and he's got the focus and discipline to drive with.
The idea of a bout between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis has ignited heated debates among boxing fans and analysts alike. The potential fight would bridge two vastly different worlds: Paul, the YouTuber turned boxer, and Davis, an undefeated lightweight champion with a 3-0-0 record. Despite the skepticism surrounding Paul's legitimacy as a boxer, his ability to attract massive audiences makes the proposition intriguing. Fans are sharply divided on the prospect of a fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul, primarily due to their significant size and weight disparities. Paul competes at cruiserweight, a division far heavier than Davis's lightweight category, raising questions about the feasibility and fairness of such a matchup. While the physical mismatch seems glaring, the potential entertainment value and spectacle of a crossover event could make it an undeniable draw for promoters and audiences alike. Critics of the idea argue that a fight of this nature could compromise the integrity of the sport. They see it as prioritizing hype and financial gain over the principles of fair competition and athletic merit. Traditionalists worry that such events risk turning boxing into a sideshow, overshadowing the efforts of dedicated fighters who have climbed the ranks through years of discipline and hard-fought victories. Opponents, however, view this potential fight as a unique opportunity to expand boxing's audience. They argue that crossover bouts like this can bridge the gap between die-hard fans and casual viewers, generating excitement and introducing new audiences to the sport's rich history. Despite the controversy, a Davis-Paul showdown would likely be a cultural phenomenon, embodying the ongoing evolution of boxing in the entertainment age.
It'd be the biggest fight ever. Let them fight. Please let them. Oh my God. Please let these niggas fight each other. Because you know what's going to happen? Tank is going to pack this man up. It's going to be easy. It will. It will be an easy fight for Tank. I promise you that. He going to walk away with like, I don't know, like 30 million, maybe. And then he might retire. Who knows?
Gervonta Davis hasn't held back in criticizing Jake Paul, branding him a clown and questioning his legitimacy as a boxer. Davis has openly dismissed Paul's transition from YouTube stardom to the squared circle as a little more than a publicity stunt, lacking the seriousness and dedication the sport demands. According to Davis, boxing is a discipline that requires years of intense training, respect for its traditions, and a commitment to mastering its nuances, qualities he believes Paul has yet to demonstrate, while Paul's flashy performances have garnered massive attention. Davis asserts they fall short of the technical sophistication and rigor exhibited by seasoned professionals. Davis's sharp critique reflects a sentiment shared by many within traditional boxing circles, where Paul's rapid ascent is viewed with skepticism. Purists often perceive Paul as an outsider capitalizing on boxing's global platform to enhance his personal brand rather than genuinely contributing to the sport's legacy. Davis's dismissal of Paul as an entertainer rather than a serious competitor underscores this divide, with Davis positioning himself as a guardian of boxing's time-honored values. His comments resonate with those who fear that Paul's spectacle-driven approach dilutes the sport's essence, prioritizing theatrics and pay-per-view numbers over skill and competition. On the other side of the equation, Jake Paul has defied expectations in some ways, proving to be more than a mere novelty act, with wins against former MMA champions and a growing record. Paul has argued that he's earning his place in the boxing world. However, critics like Davis contend that Paul's opponents often lack significant boxing experience, further emphasizing the gap between Paul's resume and that of a seasoned professional like Davis. For Davis, Paul's showmanship and ability to draw attention are secondary to the craft itself, a craft Davis has honed through years of grueling training and high-level competition.
So at first I didn't like how Jake Paul was coming in up.
Why is that?
Because of how he was making it look like he'll call out somebody else that's like, but now that I see that I feel as though he's still a clown, because that's his personality. He's still a clown.
That's how he gets paid. Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
But far as him like content, like in the gym, I feel like I'm starting to respect it, because he's not doing it like for the hype. He was really like trying to be a boxer.
The tension between these two fighters is not merely personal, it reflects a broader cultural clash within boxing. Davis embodies the sport's traditional ethos, where respect, skill, and dedication are paramount. In contrast, Paul represents a new wave, where entertainment value and social media influence carry as much weight as technical ability. This fundamental difference in philosophy fuels the intrigue of a potential matchup between the two, creating a narrative that goes beyond athletic competition to address the evolving identity of boxing in the modern era. A fight between Davis and Paul would be a high-stakes spectacle, not only because of their contrasting styles but also because of what they symbolize. Davis is precise, calculated approach, rooted in years of discipline, would stand in stark contrast to Paul's aggressive, crowd-influencing style. For fans and critics alike, the clash would provide a rare opportunity to see traditional boxing values tested against the sport's increasingly entertainment-driven direction. Ultimately, Davis's dismissal of Paul as a clown and his critique of Paul's path into boxing highlights a deep divide in how the sport is perceived and practiced. Whether or not they ever meet in the ring, their ongoing war of words epitomizes the tension between boxing's storied past and its rapidly changing present. Heavyweight champion Tyson Fury weighed in on the Paul Davis debate, offering a nuanced perspective. Fury acknowledged that Davis is the far superior boxer in terms of skill, pedigree, and achievements. However, he praised Jake Paul for his promotional savvy, which has brought massive attention to boxing. According to Fury, Paul's ability to generate buzz and draw new audiences, particularly younger fans, is an asset to the sport. Fury's comments underline the dual nature of boxing as both a sport and entertainment. While purists may side with Davis, Fury recognizes Paul's value in reinvigorating interest in boxing during a time when it competes with other sports and forms of entertainment for attention. His remarks also highlight the complementary roles traditional champions and influencers can play in shaping the sport's future.
Fantastic event. Anyone who don't think it's a fantastic event is jealous. Who's better, Tank Davis or Jake Paul? So, immediately, yeah, the normal layman would say, oh, Tank Davis is better. But better at what? Is he better at selling tickets? Is he better at selling stadiums out? Is he better at creating controversy? Is he better at getting followed on Instagram? Is he better at putting more eyeballs on the boxing? Is he better than him at that? The answer would be no. But is he better at him in a fight? It has to be really, you have to break it down.
Joe Rogan, renowned for his insightful commentary and deep understanding of combat sports, has drawn a sharp contrast between the fighting styles of Davis and Jake Paul. Rogan's analysis celebrates Davis's tactical brilliance, highlighting his ability to conserve energy in the early rounds while forcing opponents to exhaust themselves. This energy-efficient approach allows Davis to analyze his opponent's patterns and capitalize on their mistakes, often turning fights in his favor with precision and adaptability. Such calculated strategy has cemented Davis's reputation as a master of technical boxing, embodying the sport's traditional emphasis on skill and discipline. On the other hand, Rogan characterized Jake Paul's style as aggressive and heavily spectacle-driven, resonating with the preferences of a more casual audience. Paul's approach, while effective in generating attention and revenue, prioritizes entertainment value over refined technique. His brash persona and bold promotional tactics align with the modern trend of blending sports with spectacle, where building a brand and audience engagement are often as crucial as winning fights.
Bad. Yeah, he's a bad man. And there's a good crop of people like that today. Tank is another one.
Yes.
Phenomenal fighter.
Yes. Look, Kid Austin is right on the hills, right? Kid
Bruce
Austin.
Ennis.
Correct. Bruce.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, you look, I can promote a lot of fighters.
Rogan's commentary underscores the dichotomy between these two fighters, symbolizing a broader shift within the world of combat sports. Davis represents the purest ideal of boxing, a tactical chess match demanding patience, precision, and mastery of fundamentals. Paul, meanwhile, reflects the evolving nature of the sport, where showmanship and the ability to draw crowds have become integral components of success. This contrast highlights a potential philosophical rivalry transcending mere athletic competition, a hypothetical fight. Between Davis and Paul would thus be more than just a clash of skills. It would pit tradition against modernity. Davis's calculated, methodical approach would challenge Paul's bold, spectacle-first strategy, offering fans a unique narrative. This matchup could draw significant attention, uniting purists and casual fans alike, while reigniting debates about the future direction of boxing. By juxtaposing Davis's technical expertise with Paul's entertainment-centric model, Rogan illustrates how these fighters embody two distinct facets of modern combat sports. This narrative enriches their potential rivalry, presenting it as not only a battle of fists, but also a contest of ideologies, reflecting the ever-evolving identity of the sport itself.
He shows you something that is like an illusion. Might not be the first time once he tried you and you go for it, but it's coming. And that's how he set you up. He set traps.
Yeah, he sets traps, and he's got ridiculous one-punch knockout power, too. He's just such an interesting fighter because his style is so different from everybody else. He's so conservative in the early rounds, throws so few punches, and he lets you work. He lets you work, and you're backing up, and you're always afraid of that power, and he's just moving in, trying to find that opening where he just gets in there.
What do you think? Would a Davis versus Paul fight elevate boxing's appeal or undermine its traditions? That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.